Hey y'all, this is your girl Shaq with Illusions Magazine. And off to my right, as you know, my ride or die
is Chef Mickey in the building. How are y'all doing today? It's hard to be peppy.
It really is.
With everything that's going on in the news, and my heart hurts right now. So, didn't sleep good, in constant prayer all day. Trying not to look at, the pale people side eye when what I really want to do is chop them in their throat for their inability to see that this is a serious problem.
What we have here is definitely unsettling. The country, city, states, everybody around is so unrest at the moment. With all the media and the media, the TV, the Facebooking, Twitter, Instagram of the two shootings with Alton Sterling, and then you got Philando Castile in Minnesota, who was shot and killed by police officers. The justification, not very visible to me. And I'm basing it off of the videos that I've seen. It's not justified shootings. So now we have 2 lives lost, 2 families mourning, kids mourning their father's death, funerals being planned. This country, once again, has stepped back and allowed another one of us be taken away and snuffed out by the boys in blue. And I, from Illusions Magazine, I want to know why. Why are we such a threat to you?
Right.
That if you pull me over, as you say, for a broken taillight, it ends in guns blazing. Please
Right.
help me understand why I have to constantly and repeatedly look at the news and see
Nothing but death.
nothing but death.
Nothing but senseless shootings by police officers. And again, not saying that all police officers are bad. Of course, in any situation, nobody or everybody isn't everything. But if you are going to continue to hide the bad seed in a bunch of apples, guess what? Everybody looks bad. So yes, all people in blue uniform look real shady right now. The fact that you're not even willing to say that there is a problem with what your co-workers are doing, whether if they're stealing from the store and y'all work at the store, if you're not willing to say, hey, this is wrong, then you're just as culpable as they are. You are just as responsible as they are. And again, I have friends that are police officers. I have family that are police officers. But if you are not willing to take a stand for when one of your fellow officers does something wrong, you are just as wrong.
As a former uniformed armed service member who served in the United States Army to protect and serve the very belief we believe this country has been governed on. As a former law enforcement person who worked for the Colleton County Sheriff Department in Walterboro, South Carolina, I would be remiss not to say that I am so shook by the incidents thereof. Who's standing up for us? That's the question. Who is ready to take a stand and say enough is enough? Enough is enough. This reeks of havoc upon our nation. And the reason why I continuously say that and believe that is because this is not just today. This is not just 2 days ago. And definitely not just last year. The only reason why it is so exorbitant in the media today, I truly believe, is because of who we have in office. Had we not had a black man in office, President Barack Obama, would anybody even care? Would anybody even shine a light on what's going on? We can take this way back, way back. Let's start at slavery, or is that too far back? Let's start at the Jim Crow laws. Is that too far back for you? Let's go ahead, move forward in life. 2006, Sean Bell, senseless killing, 50 bullets, New York, after a bachelor's party.
But before we even go to Sean Bell, Rodney King.
Rodney King.
Beat in the street on national television
On national
and y'all finally had to pay him a little money, and y'all thought that made it all better. But none of those officers were convicted. They were on paid leave for 2 weeks vacation, and with all these other killings, we got GoFunds going for the police officers that are shooting down black men and women in the street. A little Mexican girl also died last night. You didn't hear anything about that on the news, did you? Of course not. Because again, you want to cover up and show what you want to show instead of what's really going on. And if cell phones didn't have cameras, we wouldn't even know half of the things. So it's more prevalent now because people are on the move with their cell phones saying, guess what I'm looking at right now? Whereas before you had to find a payphone, go call it in. Now you have access to let people know. And this officer that shot Sterling, again, not convicted, already saying he did nothing wrong. Nothing wrong with the arrest, nothing wrong with the excessive force, nothing wrong with shooting, tackling him in the middle.
Let me ask this
mind.
question.
It blows my
It
mind.
absolutely blows my mind. Why? A man that was gunned down, 5 shots. You heard him. The recording showed him. Gunned down by police officers. How does his misdemeanor records play a part in it? Always trying to divert and distract us from what is actually
what's really going on.
You take away from what we need to know to provide your own information. It's irrelevant. So what? He has a misdemeanor. So what? He has a misdemeanor. What can you tell his daughter, his sons, his mother, his brother, his cousins, and his sisters? Are you going to show them his picture in orange and try and justify your shooting?
Right.
Selling CDs? When does that become a crime?
It becomes a crime when the white man is afraid of a black man who says, hey, they said it all yesterday, and watching the news, one reason I don't watch the news because it pisses me off. Because you see the unjust happen all day, and it's just us, people of color, that are unjustly served all day, every day. Because you only show what you want to show in the media. So unless it's a black media presence saying, you know what, we're going to record the whole truth. They talk about transparency. That's a lie. How long did it take? You posted a man's face on Facebook. What was that? Dallas police posted somebody's face on Facebook for him to be possibly inadvertently gunned down by some old white coat vigilante, not even knowing all of the details of what happened. It's just crazy. It's senseless. And when is it going to stop? It's only going to stop, for me, one of 2 ways. If you know God, and that's who you put your trust in. 2, for black people as a whole and all people of color, put your money where your mouth is. Stop supporting people that don't support you. If I can't go, me and Jane have the same education, same schooling, same background, but because my name is Jaquisha, I don't get the job. That is racism. I don't care how you call it. I don't care how you slice it. Saying all lives matter is trying to distract and take away from the fact that you don't want my life to matter. Of course, everybody in America and all over the world has an opinion, and their lives matter. We all bleed red. Jesus died for everybody. But if the white people are only willing to die for white people, guess what? That's racism. You got to call it how you see it. And you can say what you want to say, but the truth speaks in the numbers. When I get pulled over for a tail light and I'm gunned down in my car with my daughter in the back and my fiance sitting next to me, that's crazy. Because you got a happy trigger finger and you think when I told you I'm licensed to carry, but let me get my license that you asked for, and then I get shot and gunned down. It doesn't make sense.
And let's not forget the fact that a child
Traumatized.
who will be traumatized for the rest of her life, sat in the back seat, could have took a bullet right along with her daddy, right along with her father. And when is it okay for a 5-year-old daughter to be more and stronger than her mother, who has finally broken down after you shot down her fiance? When is it okay for a child to understand the facts as it is? I got 2 boys, 2 black boys that I'm raising and that I have raised. I go to sleep every night and I'm of concern. When is it okay for them to walk down the street and not look over their shoulder, and not necessarily for the crook in the street, but for those that I'm paying my tax dollars to protect and serve?
Right.
And if I stutter or if I look like I'm a little bit afraid, you wonder why I'm afraid. I'm afraid because you present that to me. You make it available for me to be that. You're supposed to be my super savers, and you're not. I'm concerned. And it's appalling. And I'm tired of all the media and everybody trying to use other methods to divert and change the subject. So we have 2 lives, less than 72 hours, gunned down and killed by police officers. Now, all of a sudden, now we have 5 cops who were gunned down and killed
And that's
at a
more
peaceful
important.
protest.
And that's become more important. How has it become more important when you brought it on yourself?
To suit their own needs. That's what I see with these cop killings that happen in Dallas, Texas. Could I be wrong? I could be, but I'm sorry. That's what it reeks to me.
Right.
And until I learn otherwise,
You got a
that's my
sniper
stand.
on the roof. That's somebody who has also been trained to kill. So you have vigilantes doing their own thing, and you want to still take away from and distract what is the real concern. Cops are killing black people without any recourse. You want to take it straight to the justice system, all the way up the ladder, so that you can absolve yourself and clean house. If you need to clean house, clean house. There are plenty of people that want jobs that will do what is necessary and do what they should for their community. But you don't want to do that. You want to pass the buck because you don't want to be responsible and say what this person did in my house, in my city, in my town, at my job is wrong. It's wrong all the way around. Whoever killed the police are dead wrong. The police killing innocent people is wrong. I shouldn't get stopped for a traffic violation and fear for my life that if I'm not, whether I'm on a main street or on a side street, any time of day or night, you take it upon yourself to say, oh, they had something. Yeah, I got my cell phone in my hand and you shot me center mass because you were scared that I was going to do something to you.
Word to the wise. If you're hiring scared police officers, stop. But again, no matter my opinions, no matter my values, no matter my morals, at the end of the day, our own president said there is a racial systematic disparity in this country.
Exactly.
And we're suffering. And when a man can stand on TV and I can cry with him and see the hurt in his eyes, you and I both know that it is true, it's real, and it's today. Illusions Magazine.